6:57 on Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Time for the Merriam Drainage District meeting. Howdy. That table's looking more empty than it usually is.
Have to get it all off and in half.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive.
It's 3 people per person.
Did Dan make it back?
No, I think he's still out.
Still.
That's fine. That's a $5 cover. Oh, that's your drink now.
Gotta get 10 for you. 10 million of them, just never where you need one at the right time.
Hello, Mr. Leap.
Hello,
You're on speakerphone in the middle of the table.
excellent, thank you.
Okay, here we go. That one, I think. Oh. What time is it?
Seconds to get it.
79 on my clock.
All right. Have you gotten any sleep over there, Mr. Taxman?
Getting a little bit right now, it's starting to run thin if I keep looking at that everybody wants everything now list starting today.
I just wish everybody would have gotten me everything when they're supposed to.
Yeah. We're still putting together 1099s, W-2s for
Yep.
clients today that just got us the stuff to get them done.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to our monthly meeting. First order of business, we'll go through the minutes of January 5. Is there any concerns?
I read them. I didn't see anything.
I have no concerns. Mr.
I
Lee?
have no concerns.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, I'll turn it over to Steve, our engineer.
All right, good evening. Starting with Max Reiki, they have completed the work in Waterfall Park. They're removing the debris. I need to go over there and confirm that everything got done the way we requested. But they have not started on the 3 other locations for removing gravel from the stream. But by the time they got done at Waterfall Park, we started to get some snow, and they didn't want to create a mess with the snow, so they still have their equipment down there, but they'll get in there. Should actually warm up this week, and hopefully get dry enough so they can get back at it the next week or 2.
Awesome.
Next thing, I did reach out to Catch It Wildlife. They said that they would be happy to assist the drainage district this year again. And all their pricing remains the same, $600 fee for setup, and then $100 per animal caught. And then lastly, the core project. So at our last core update meeting, which was a few weeks ago, and it was Tuesday the 13th, the Corps is still continuing to work on the plans. They still anticipate having plans to the city, the 65% plans done in April. And then the city has requested that they put the design on hold. The city has issued an RFQ for some planning services, and they would like to have a master plan for the downtown area before they ask the Corps to proceed with the project.
Is that our request for RFQ? Is that a
Qualifications.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that went out a month or 2 ago, I think. So yeah, that would push back. If, if the city pause continues until January, and then they release the core to continue again in January of 27. I have these all written down for you.
Perfect, thank you.
Then that would result in 95% plans being ready in 2028. The project being bid sometime in January of 2029. They would proceed with the two bridges, the Johnson Drive Bridge and the Merriam Drive Bridge. Those would go one at a time and take about a year to construct, so the two bridges wouldn't be done until about January of 31, at which point the design of the construction of the levee improvements would start. And that's anticipated to take at least 2 years. So we'd be looking at 2033 to 2034 completion.
What happened to funding during that time period?
Since they put the project on hold, they did not proceed with the Packer. Which means they will, I apologize, I'm just gonna keep throwing acronyms at you. Congress is now beginning their discussions on what to include in the next WRDA bill, which would be passed sometime the end of this year, beginning of next year, which means they will miss the WRDA allotment, which means they'll have to wait another 2 years before that bill comes back around, which would be about the time they're ready for advertising the project. So that shouldn't be a terrible thing,
But the existing funding then? Is
the
that-
existing funding remains in place.
That's what's on, okay.
Yeah, it's already been authorized by Congress and sits there. The problem that they will incur is, nothing gets cheaper over time.
So again, the pause is in response to,
The city's request.
Is that for the, so do plans for downtown, is that what you said?
Okay. Yeah, essentially, in a nutshell, from my takeaway from the meeting was that the city wasn't sure what they wanted to do with the downtown area, and with the lack of vision for the area, they didn't want the core to move forward. Because of course, every dollar the core spends, the city has to pay 35 cents on it all. So there is, they did discuss it in the January meeting, but there is the opportunity for the city just to say they no longer wish to sponsor the project, at which point it does. So, as far as the district's concerned, we'll just wait until the plans become available, and then we can see what we want to move forward with as far as capital projects and maintenance after
If they don't, I'm just talking about the financing side.
that.
So if they don't then continue to sponsor it, does that appropriation just lapse or?
I believe so.
but they still have, they still have the stormwater funding from Johnson County
Yes.
that they could move forward with. Possibly.
Would there be enough with the stormwater? I mean, I can't imagine the stormwater funding being close to covering it.
It was helping them with the 35% match, but it was coming. But yeah, I would imagine if the core project didn't move forward, then the county would take the money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So according to the core, the number of progress meetings the progress meetings will come to a halt in April.
Then if we look at our 2027 budget, will we have some idea then by May, June or so that,
Yeah. Well, I would recommend for the board's consideration as far as capital.
That's what I was wondering, after you see what the 65% drawings are, then we'd have some idea what the budget for.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay, so the first one, when you're talking about the Johnson Drive Bridge and the Merriam Drive Bridge, have you, seen any indication of how much they're gonna raise those?
No, they haven't mentioned in the last few meetings exactly what impact those projects would have.
I see. Okay, and the second question is, what's your feeling as far as, if the city decides to stop their end of it, then is the whole, did you, I thought I heard you say the whole project's gonna die, is that what you think?
That's correct. Without a local sponsor, the Corps would not move forward with the project.
I see, so if the city decides to go a different route and say they want to do some development or bring in some, raise the ground by bringing in dirt, do they have to get approval from anybody, or can they just decide that's what they're gonna do and do it?
In order to do that, they would need to get a permit from FEMA for development within the floodplain.
And what do you think the likely of them getting a permit to be able to do that? Cause if they bring in dirt, then that's gonna obviously raise where they're working, but then, it'll probably push off flooding on somewhere else.
Correct. They could raise the ground a little bit in a big area or a lot in a small area, but not a lot of raise in a large area. Because as you're saying, that would constrict the creek, which would push the water surface elevation up, which would not be allowed by the permit.
I see. I'm sorry, but now I have one more question.
Sure.
When you say raise it a lot in a small area or raise it a little in a bigger area, like define big area, would that be like maybe, between the creek and, the current, Merriam Drive from Johnson Drive to the farmer's market? Is that a small area or is that a large area?
If they were to put fill in the area of the farmer's market, for example, they would have to cut dirt out on the opposite side of the creek in the park to balance it out, was really kind of what I was referring to.
So if they add here, they have to take away from here.
Yes, because you have to be able to balance that out, so the water still has about the same area to which it can flow.
I see. Okay, well, thanks for answering my questions.
Sure.
Any other concerns, questions?
I guess if they're going back to his first question about raising the bridge, which may not even really matter right now where we're going with this information you just shared. The potential height or potential raise of the bridge would be determined by what they think the flow rate will be later, or in an extreme flood, or is raising the bridge just gonna be because they're gonna widen the channel?
I would anticipate, if I was the city, and this is just me talking, not based on anything that I've heard. The Johnson Drive Bridge is fairly new.
Yeah,
Their comments about the Merriam Drive Bridge have been that it could potentially change if Merriam Drive was realigned to be more favorable to development. And that is an older structure and is very restrictive to the flow.
so it's more about the Merriam Bridge than Johnson Drive.
Yes.
You would speculate.
I would speculate.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was the city, I wouldn't spend money on the Johnson Drive Bridge, short of needing to do it for the core improvements.
Merriam Drive Bridge, that's what goes underneath. The bridge
Yeah, that's where
underneath
Turkey
the-
Creek goes underneath up by the bus barn, or the bus.
That's what I'm just trying to visualize.
Where they just tore those buildings down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there. Or they just purchased that land, I guess, right? The city did.
The church.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Since this is kind of, I touched base with you earlier, did you have access to those photos? A concerned citizen had reached out, and so I had gone over to Behind Ground Park, and I also checked with Steve to then make sure this wasn't part of our jurisdiction, and he said it was not. The concerned citizen believes that was the result of the last large rain we had in July, I believe. The last flood. And it's, in the amount of time I've been on the board, I don't remember ever doing anything over there with those concrete blocks. It's pretty much pulled up.
Is that a trail or is that a
That's
creek bed?
actually in creek beds.
Yeah, okay.
So that is north of,
Between Shawnee Mission Parkway and 75th Street?
it's north of 51st Terrace. So it's right behind Brown Park. And I did see that some of the blocks had made their way downstream. So that was gonna be one question I had for Steve is should there be a concern that moving on down and causing any later blockage or concerns?
If it continues to migrate down, it'll just end up in the area that we just cleaned out, along with a whole bunch of other stuff that'll end up migrating right down there too, so. I did communicate with the city engineer and confirmed for her that it's outside of the drainage district boundaries. Would be their responsibility to address.
Okay.
Which is water coming towards us or what? Just
I think it's going away.
Yeah, that's facing downstream.
this is downstream here. Right? I was trying to get my bearings.
And you will address that with the city.
Okay, that's the only thing I had on that. Nothing further, thank you, Steve, we'll move on to Jim.
Couple things, in light of Steve's report, at the last meeting, we talked about Steve and me getting together, and perhaps me contacting some county, but we just put that on hold for now, so obviously it's gonna happen in the near future, although it's still something to keep in mind that the city's taking a position they're not gonna immediately share whatever plans come down the pike, but let's wait and see if some plans are gonna come down the pike. And the second thing is, we do have the insurance in place, and, for next year, and rather arduously got through the, insurance audit. It seems like every year they want a little bit more information, and just so you know, I think part of the problem is, this is an unusual entity, and, for example, in the questionnaire that they sent out, said, do you have subcontractors like musicians? But well, that's kind of ironic, given who's actually involved in this organization, but having said that, is no, we don't sub anything out to musicians. But, and there was some confusion actually on the auditor's part about, certificates of insurance are more and more aggressively wanting to make sure that we don't do business with anyone that isn't insured. And, they wanted insurance from January 24th of 25, January 24th of 26. I gave them the new, the current existing policies, because they had the information last year. And I didn't exactly get an argument, but the auditor said, no, we don't have that. I'll get it for you, I just, didn't want to pick a fight, but they did have it. They have a sequence going back to 2024, I think, all the certificates of insurance. So as far as I know, that everything's fine. If anything comes up, I'll take care of it, but we should have gotten that out of the way. And I think eventually we'll kind of get this down to a science where it's always the same every year, but there's something, I guess, maybe it's the unusual nature of the entity that seems to kind of light a fire for someone, because we get audited every year.
They don't have it, it's just like one of the cities with the bank, they keep asking me, they said, are you nonprofit or for-profit?
Right.
Neither.
Right, either government entity.
A government
Yeah,
entity
yeah.
created, I just got the deal on there, a subdivision, political subdivision of the state of Kansas.
Yeah, well, that's.
I think
what
that's
tell
where
them
their
every year.
mind at that point of.
But then, and in fairness, I also talked to Jolene, who's our agent, and she said, the real problem is they're just concerned about this entity subbing out its work to an entity that isn't insured on a project that has some danger. And any construction does carry with it some danger, either to people or to property. So it's not unreasonable necessarily, but, it's just explaining what it is you do and how you do it. It's always one step forward, one step back. The next year it's the same thing, so. But we're done for this year, and, we're insured, we're good to go.
Good deal.
That's all.
That's okay, okay. Any questions on that? Okay, thank you, Jim. Good job.
For 2025, we're right on budget with our revenues, expenses, operating expenses. We were down from budget. Obviously, there wasn't much engineering and other ones down. There, we budgeted 120, spent about 40. 86,000. Now, when we look at part of what here, that line right there, tip expense, well, we have to show up the budget. That's money we never got. That they took it out of our budget, reimburse developers and stuff like that. But to get the budget to work out, we have to show the full amount of the levy, and then we show an expense for what they don't give us, what they meant, or our budget would be short from there. So. Channel maintenance, we had 52,000, we budgeted, in case we needed it, obviously reserve funds. Mowing and trimming, we're slightly over $720 over, and then we're right on wages and taxes, so we're on exactly where budget on there. So we're in good shape budget-wise. Question would be on there if there's anything we need to still encumber for any bills from 2025 work that we hadn't gotten paid yet or through the system. 2026, or in 2025, so we can cover those for the 2025 budget and close out the year.
We didn't receive the invoice from Baxter yet, or what they did.
Not yet.
So basically, we have to probably waiting.
We'd wait till, that's
Yeah.
fine, till we get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing on this is getting close out is just June or so, when we start looking at what our 27 budget's gonna be. So that'll be the next thing that's on, then we'll have to have budget hearings and stuff in late July, early August, stuff like that. At that point, we'd have a better idea of what projects may need to be undertaken in light of the pause on the core project.
Yeah, I know if there's a pause, we were talking about over by Kendall Park, the control structures. But yeah, that's just kind of wait and see, I guess.
Somewhere we'd have cash flows probably in excess of $500,000 in the general fund to be available, plus whatever our 27 allocation would be. So the only thing there is we look at the 27 budget, is there some project that would outstrip our cash available on normal levy for 2027? Beyond those that needed funding that could be staged or spread out over a period of time. Everything looks good, so next year, the next big thing is you start, Groundhog's Day, I guess, is today anyway, we're just starting the next budget cycle already.
Appropriate day.
Yeah.
To put out the trash. Good.
That's all I've got. So, any questions or anything on there, that's all I've got.
You know, in February, when did it start putting traps? It's
Usually in March.
So we probably need to make a decision on utilizing catch it for our provider, which we just got their certificate of insurance. Somebody wanna make a motion to
Continue.
use
Yeah.
catch it on this 26.
Make a motion to continue using Catch It for our groundhog services for 2026. For the placement of traps and removal of groundhogs.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Groundhog services.
Okay. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda is the approval of bills presented for payment. Is there any concerns with what's been provided?
Good looking to me.
Looks good to me.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the bills as presented for payment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
It's funny how sound transfers on the phone. I can hear the pins are going.
This pen just died, thank you.
Resupply our pins.
That's because the phone's like 3 inches away from where I'm signing.
I see.
Signing with authority.
Sounds like a great scribble to me.
want Rebecca to just mail your check out, Dan?
Yeah, that's fine, or you could take it, whatever. I mean, you can keep it for me, or she could mail it, whatever.
Take it out to dinner?
You're gonna take me out to dinner with it?
No, I didn't say that like that.
Yeah. You have a mail slot at your,
I sure do.
Door.
When you go up to the front steps, it's on the left-hand side.
okay, I'll just, take it over there on the way home and put it in the slot. Can you put it in an envelope? Do you have one?
I don't have an envelope, but.
Okay.
I get an envelope.
You got one? I'm just gonna put it in an envelope and drop it in the slot for you.
Cool,
Is
thank
that-
you.
That's okay and acceptable?
Yes.
All right. Cool, done.
Okay, the next on the agenda would be any new business. Is there any new business?
Nope.
Okay. There being no new business. Our next meeting is March 2nd. And, it's not a holiday, so. If there's nothing further, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:29. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Happy travels, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The bank was, got shelves for them.
All right.
Yes, it's already been received and all things are done.
Yeah, the back one, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you pass that to John?
This is John.
So do you have a secret, Girl Scout cookie, hookup?
My niece, oh,
Does she still have any she wants to sell?
I can find out, I can text Katie and I ask her.
Find out, would you? Cause my wife forgot to order something, she was asking about it the other day.
Yeah, I go, what are you looking for, is that?
What's that color?
I got
Hey Siri, calling in.
Inflation's 3%, construction costs.
Calling Lee at mobile.
Depending on what you're looking at,
Yes.
some materials just see.
Anything that includes metal is
Yeah.
just gone up by about 50%.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see you guys next
Oh,
time.
yeah, so-
Were you
so-
selling it to get Girl Scout
So
cookies?
did Joel.
You were asking about it.
Man, they were up.
Really, yeah, real fun.
Hey,
Yeah,
Steve,
niece.
Yes,
I only
What do
have
you
one
want?
more,
Oh,
so,
Thin
That
mints?
should have gone under new business.
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
Additional.
Cause I'm looking at a
Did you
jar full of
remember?
them right now, and they're delicious. All right, I'll see, he's gonna ask his niece and then he'll let me know. Okay, bye. Yeah, just Thin mints.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, probably 4 to 6 boxes. Gotta get that year, for the whole year, right?
Exactly.
freeze well.
And then you gotta put them in the freezer. Yep.
That's, I've got some in the freezer right now. That's where my stash goes in the freezer.
Man, that's where it's at, dude. Telling you.
Then you crumple them up on a little peppermint ice cream.
Double down.
Blended.
Yeah.
Double down.
Yeah, that would be
Good
about
for 4 boxes and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta limit myself. It's 2 to 4 and that's it. Then I have to put them away or I'll eat a whole sleeve.
Oh, I can eat a
won't
whole
even
sleeve on
think
the
about
way.
it.
I don't know what I can do to stop myself from finding them.
Yeah.
Maybe check them up in the attic or something, or have to go with a ladder.
Put them in a safe.
Yeah. Okay.
Safe, time release safe.
Oh, you put them in a cookie dispenser machine, you gotta put a quarter in every time you want one.
Yeah.
Shoots them
They should
all
make
later.
a subscription service like Girl Scout cookies, so just come in the mail or something.
I probably could.
You know?
Yeah, that's, you might be a genius.
Yeah.
That might be a genius move right there.
Evil genius.
Have a nice one, you guys.
See you later.